Hi, I'm John Schroeder, and welcome to another Casey Clips video. A subscriber to this channel recently asked a great question. How can I break a negative karmic cycle with my ex-spouse? He went on to explain that their marriage had ended badly, and he was afraid of repeating the pattern in a future life because they had a lot of karma to work out between them. Well, first, let me say that Casey's readings didn't always warn against getting a divorce. In the cases of harmful addictions or violence, especially when the offending spouse had no desire to reform, Casey suggested that staying with that person would be neither helpful nor wise. When it comes to couples therapy or counseling, Casey did not suggest that it was wrong. However, I don't remember an occasion when he recommended it if the couple was not already in therapy. No one ever asked Casey why working with a therapist was rarely, if ever, suggested, but allow me to speculate. The placebo effect could apply to counseling if a person or a couple is already working with a therapist. In other words, if they think using an outside professional to guide their discussions is helpful, there's no reason to stop doing what they believe is working. However, a primary goal of being on this earth is to create a clear connection with God's omniscience, most often through meditation. That's why Casey consistently recommended that we go within to receive the answers to our questions. God will never disappoint us when we come seeking with the right intention. But the question was how to stop the negative karmic cycle we have already developed, specifically with an ex-spouse. The ironic challenge is that our most common solution to this problem is to never see that person again. That will not work for any number of reasons. Jesus would suggest that we recognize the other person is also a beloved child of God. When we do, we can willingly forgive them and ourselves to go forth and sin no more. This concept of forgiveness is not so far off from how the Casey readings speak of how we grow to heaven. The best way to attain heaven, according to the Casey readings, is not to strictly follow the tenets of any religion. Instead, we should know and believe that heaven is a state of mind that we take with us wherever we go. As soon as we know how to find heaven on earth, we will be in heaven wherever we go in time, space, and consciousness. Likewise, the moment we let go of the anger, angst, and even the hate we hold against another person, we have reached the point where we are no longer karmically tied to them. How do you know when you've achieved that level of spiritual growth? You will know you've arrived when you can say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, and mean it with every fiber of your being. But what happens when you get to that point, but your ex-spouse has not? Are we still karmically tied to them until they too see things from a more loving perspective? Thankfully, the answer is no, and here's why. As we grow spiritually, we raise our vibrations to the point where we're not on the same level as before. We are free to take on greater challenges in our efforts to become better people. Your ex-spouse will automatically attract someone new who provides the same opportunity for growth that was once your role in their life. After all, we are here learning how to treat everyone well, not just specific people. If you question this, think of the repeating patterns everyone has in their lives where one or more challenges keep coming up. Some people divorced numerous times. Others never had a boss they liked. Still others feel, as a repeating pattern for them, that they have been consistently betrayed by close friends. Seeing these repeating patterns helps us discover our purpose in life. All we have to do is identify what challenges us the most, because the problems keep repeating. Inevitably, that will lead us to our soul's purpose. For most of us, that falls into one of three categories: health, wealth, and/or relationships. I have found putting this difficult task into simple terms helps me to feel like I can overcome any challenge. But what if we manage to avoid our ex-spouse by not reincarnating? Edgar Casey identified 18 people who were told that if all went well in their current life, they would not have to reincarnate back into the earth. Casey gave readings to over 5,000 different people. So, statistically speaking, less than 1% of us are living our last life as a human on this planet. As much as we might hope we won't have to deal with an ex-spouse ever again, that seems unlikely. That's it for this edition of Casey Clips. A viewer asked that we describe where we go and what happens to our souls between our earthly incarnations. That'll be the topic of our next Casey Clips video. Until then, remember that God loves you with an everlasting love.